What up, gamers? Today we're going to take a look at a really obscure and lesser known classic arcade action adventure game called Skull Crossbones. So this was developed and published by Atari back in 1989, and the first thing to note about this game is that, wow, the graphics are just compelling, especially given the state of primitive game development technologies of that era. And the concept is really cool. I actually really did like the concept of this game. But where it falls short is in terms of the control mechanism scheme. It's actually really bad. At times it's so glitchy that you can't change directions to attack the pirates. So that's kind of problematic with this game, and I think that's why this game didn't live up to really be a legend. This was kind of a forgotten title. By the way, this is the original arcade version, but it was also ported to a number of home consoles and computer systems. There was a DOS version of this game, it was on the ZX Spectrum, Atari ST, Commodore 64, etc. And there was even an NES version. The original NES version was really bad. The graphics were just terrible. They were not even anywhere as near as compelling as this. I really did not like the NES version at all. But the concept was good. I just wish that you could actually block incoming attacks, because you can. And this wizard here, so supposedly the wizard's stolen your treasure, and you end up battling. You're basically searching to battle this wizard to get your treasure back. By the way, these hourglasses, they just increase your time. You can see it's ticking down. And once the hourglass runs out, then that knife there that shows your health meter, that starts to deplete pretty quickly. And of course you pick up like grapes and bottles and stuff for energy. You can see it replenishes. You can see there I had some glitches. It's hard to turn directions. God. And you have no mechanism to block, and I just think that's terrible. And there's several boss battles in here. And you battle ninjas, and I thought that was really strange too. As glitchy as this game is, and as easy as it is to die in this game, you do have the benefit of being able to continue as many times as you want. I haven't seen any limitations on the continue features in this game. By the way, you dig up treasure, going over the X's. So you can see there's money bags and coins. There's another one. You can see he's, it's just hard to aim. Really choppy, controls. I think they really could have made this concept work if they could have polished the controls out somehow. And I really think it just comes down to the limitations of game development technology from back during that time. And there's no real run feature. I mean, you walk at a constant pace. And you can climb ladders in certain portions, like right here. You can see there, I'm having that issue with being able to change directions again. You see, I can't change directions. That's just... Would have been nice to have a block feature and to have better control. Another thing to note too is that when you're attacking, you cannot move from your position. I mean, you're pretty well stuck. And of course, these red X's, these red markers, that just marks the next portion of the map. So meet there, I'll get that. Dig up some treasure. I thought these skeletons were actually pretty cool. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Golden Axe, not too much. And of course there's this parrot. You see this parrot here? It pretty much follows you throughout the entire game. That was not included in some of the other versions of this game, such as the Atari ST version. And I don't believe the NES version had the parrot either. And then you have like these flying gargoyles. That money bag. Yeah, they really had it down with the graphics in this game. I just wish that they could have polished out the control scheme a little bit better. Alright, we got some treasure there. Ow. Gargoyles. Treasure. Another coin. And you have this Medusa character, she's one of the bosses. There's not a whole lot of ways to really deflect her. There's that wizard. Oh, I was right about to pick up those coins. Let's get some of these bottles. Can't turn around. Oh, I'm glitched. There we go. Yeah, that's just one of the unfortunate issues with this game. And then you get these guys that come out of these barrels, and they're kind of a pain too. Got a jug right here. Oh, come on, die already. And by all means, this is not a very long game. It's actually fairly short. And now we're gonna go up. Pick up these grapes. Ow. You see my clock is running out, but I got him. And now you have these like green, like Slimer looking guys that we gotta battle. I thought this was kind of strange. They don't die too easily either. They're just... There we go. You got this guy with the axe. Oh man. Wow. Just getting wrecked. Dig all this treasure up. Wow. Kind of odd they brought ninjas in here. It's not really something you expect in a game with pirates, you know? Medusa again. Here, we gotta just open this latch. Now we're in a battle with the wizard. And he shoots all this crap at you. And you can see he just continuously knocks you back. And this goes on for like a minute or two. They make it really difficult to attack him in the beginning. Wow. It's kind of frustrating, this part, because this goes on for like a minute or so. Wow. Oh man. See, it's really hard to get close to him. And then of course you have these stupid Slimers that come out. I need to get rid of this Slimer. It's driving me nuts. And given the fact that you can't move when you swing your sword, kind of creates a conflict. I think he's almost dead. You can see his head just got chopped off. Pick up all that gold. And then that's it. That's the whole game. It's not very long. And you know what's funny? A lot of people have never even heard of this game before, and I can see why, because the gameplay is so horrible. I mean, the graphics were great, but at the same time, the control scheme just really kills the concept of it, you know? It almost feels impossible to play it. So I can't really see this as being a game that took off in the arcades back in the 1980s. I did see this game in the arcades in the 1980s. It was not something that was extremely prevalent. It was out there in the wild, but it did better on the Atari ST and the Commodore 64. There was a lot more people playing it there. In the arcades, I think the arcade operators looked at games like this and went, you know, this is a great concept, but this game doesn't play well, and, you know, people aren't going to like this. And I think that's kind of what happened. But nonetheless, really amazing graphics for being such an older game. Because you think back 1989, and, you know, we're talking the days the Sega Genesis had just come out, the NES, the 8-bit systems, like the Master System, and so forth. You know, graphics were not this good. I mean, this was really compelling stuff. Most of the Genesis games didn't even have graphics this great. So anyways, many thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with our latest videos. And until next time, take care.